Hey everyone, this is One Man Zerg with the UEN.com, and I am giving you an intro video for Zerg players. So it's much like StarCraft 1, except you start with 6 drones instead of 4, and you start with 1 Overlord just the same. So you'll want to send your Overlord to the enemy's base to scout it first thing in the game, and then you're going to want to continue to build drones. Now something new to StarCraft 2 is rally points for your drones. So you can right click on a gas mine, or you can right click on a mineral, and it'll automatically send your drones there. Also, you only start with 50 minerals in the original. I just kind of cheated here since it's an intro video. And I have an extra Overlord too. So you can rally point your drones, and you can also rally point your units, which is really cool. And these are 2 separate rally points, as you can see. And then from there, the first thing you're going to want to build is a spawning pool. Well, typically. And the spawning pool allows you to build Zerglings, just like in the original. Another thing the spawning pool allows you to do is build your queen. And by building your queen, you get a great early game unit that allows you to spawn larvae, to generate creep, and to transfuse. So I just decided to build an extractor, so I'll be able to get some of the more advanced units a little bit quicker. And an extractor is just like the same. Just like the same in StarCraft 1. You mine Vespene gas from it. But in StarCraft 2, you have 2 gases on your base, which allows for slightly more dynamic play. So I'm going to take some drones and send them over there, continue to build more drones. You can see it's kind of slow, but now that I have my spawning pool up, I can build a queen. And you're building a queen comes just like building units for the other races. It's actually the only unit that builds like that at a building. And then when it's out, you're going to want to use it to spawn larvae. So we'll get to that in a minute. And then a very important upgrade for your Zerglings is this metabolic boost. So metabolic boost is a speed upgrade for your Zerglings, and it allows them to move a lot faster. And they're referred to as speedlings when they're using it. And so you can see I need to spawn more Overlords, because your queen takes up 2 unit space actually. So she does take up a bit of space, but she's great because, okay, this is the spawn larva ability. So it's X in this version, I think it's V actually. So you click it, or you click the hotkey V, and then you click it on the hatchery. And then your hatchery is going to get this countdown bar, and you can see that white countdown bar. When that gets to the end, which is 40 seconds, it means that 4 larvae are going to spawn off. You can see these little eggs, 1, 2, 3, 4 growing. And when they spawn off, you can use them just like you can use all this other larvae. Then I'm going to build a Zergling, and I'm going to route them right here. And then you can send your Overlords to scout some more places. They're really cool for that. And then your queen can also use what I want to show you, this creep tumor ability. So you can see this glowing circle that moves as I move the cursor, and that's where the creep will spread from your creep tumor. In the original StarCraft, you could build colonies. You could build I think a spore colony and a sunken colony, and by building those colonies, you could extend your creep. Here you use a creep tumor, or when you upgrade to a layer, you can use your Overlords. I'll show you that in a little. So then after your queen gets more energy, you want to constantly spawn the larvae. And you can have up to 20 larvae on your base at a time with that queen's ability. So I'm going to build a couple things here. I'm going to build a roach warren. That allows you to build roaches. They're a new unit. And I'm going to build a baneling nest. That allows you to morph Zerglings into banelings. So that's pretty cool. And so this creep tumor, let's get back to that. It allows your units to move a lot faster. So see how fast these Zerglings are? And then watch. Off the creep, they're just substantially slower. It's like they're jogging, and then they're sprinting. And it's really effective. It's great for base defense, and it's great for offense too. And so after your creep tumor is dropped, I think it's 30 seconds or 15 seconds for it to build, and then another 15 seconds for it to allow you to expand again. And then you can use it to extend out more creep. So you can use one creep tumor to build multiple things, to expand multiple creep tumors. So I have my roach warren up. That allows me to do is build roaches. Roaches are a great unit for your early game. They are very effective against certain things like zealots. They're very effective against marines. They're very effective against sentries. They're decent against Zerglings in a clump. They're really good for that. But roaches aren't good against things like marauder. They're not good against things like stalkers. They're okay against hydralisks. But yeah, they're just not that great because they can't attack air. So you got to use them use them carefully. And you can see he is also faster on creep and then slower off creep. So remember, keep expanding that creep, and so just, you know, use it to cast more. And you can use 2 at a time, so let's make this queen spawn a couple. And the more you have, the faster your creep's actually gonna grow, which is really cool ability. So let's spawn one more right here. And so if you have 3, it's gonna expand, you know, go 3 times as fast. So let's get a couple more units, and then we're gonna upgrade to a lair. So upgrading to a lair allows you to get advanced units, just like in the first StarCraft. But in this StarCraft, you actually need to upgrade to a lair to get to Hydralisk. And before you get to a lair, your queen is the only unit that has anti-air. She has these acid spines, which are pretty effective. She has a range 7 too, so that's really nice. So remember, get the metabolic boost for your Zerglings. And then your roaches have a speed upgrade too, as well as tunneling claws, which I'll show you later. And your banelings have a speed upgrade too, but both the roach and baneling speed upgrade require tier 2, or your lair tech. So let's morph a couple Zerglings into banelings. You'll see that's another different thing about the game is if you want to morph units. So I have this, I want to morph it into a drone. I click it once, it only turns 1 into it, and then I click roach and Zergling. In the first StarCraft, you'd go, you know, S for your larva, and then D for drone, and it would build all 3 into drones. Well, in this one, it doesn't. It actually builds it 1 at a time, which is really convenient because then you can get a good unit mix. So, say I wanted 1 drone, 1 Zergling, 1 roach, I can do that really quickly and effectively with just the keyboard. So I have my speedlings, and then your roaches, you can get the tunneling claw, and you can also get their speed increased. And then the banelings, you can also get their speed increased. So let's watch the banelings move. And you can see they're super fast on creep, and then they're just a lot slower off creep. And so you can watch this distance. It just gets, it gaps up when they it gets closer as he goes off, and then it gets farther as they go back on, because they just spread that distance. So we can spread more creep. Remember, you always want to spread your creep tumors whenever you can, because it's just going to give you more creep to move around the map. And players are timid to attack there, and you can also use that creep to block players from building structures. So here's an Overlord ability. They can generate creep. This is great to use at an expansion that your opponent might take if they're not Zerg, because they can no longer build buildings there now that the creep's there. And the creep's going to get about this big. We'll check back to it in a minute. And so let's see if our upgrades are done yet. So our baneling speed upgrade's done, which is pretty cool because it allows them... Oh, our baneling's not done. So you can see they're still walking right now. When they get their speed upgrade, they'll actually turn into little wheels and run around. Now you can see our Zergling speed upgrade's done because they're ridiculously fast. And they have these little wings on the back of them. You can see all those little wings. That's how you can tell if your speed upgrade's done. And speed upgrade for Zerglings is one of the best things you can get in the game, I think, as a Zerg player.